Welcome back to Skill-Up channel. In this video, we'll see how to securely connect to AWS EC2 instances. So I'll walk you through how the setup is currently. So we have got a VPC in AWS and we have created two subnets, one for the public facing instances like the Bastion server, web servers, and the systems on the front end subnet. And we have got a backend subnet, which is for the secure systems like the database application and the mission critical application systems will be kept on the private subnet. So here, in general, the cloud operations team, they connect to the jump server or the Bastion server, and from here, they access the backend systems. So when they access it, most of the support teams, they store the PEM file or the private key file on the Bastion systems. It is not the best way of doing it. So I'll show you how they generally do it, and then I'll help you with understanding how we can secure this connectivity in a much better way. So number one thing, we should not expose these secure system directly to the internet. And we have already taken care of that by using this Bastion host. And second thing, we have restricted access to the secure server only for the systems that are connected to the security group of the Bastion systems. Okay, so we have limited access to the secure server through the security group of these Bastion systems. And now I'll also show you how to do the SSH agent forwarding. Okay, let's get into the practical demo here. So we have got two different systems for this demo. One front-end server, which is on the public subnet, and this has got a private IP, and also it has got a public IP. And we have got a backend system that doesn't have a public IP. It has got a private IP, and it is part of the private subnet. Now let's log into the public subnet virtual machine, the Bastion server, using the PuTTY tool. And here, this time, I'll just give the authentication key. This is the regular method that we generally do. See, we select the authentication key and we connect to it. And we enter the credential. And if there is any passphrase, we'll enter that and we are able to log in here. And if in case I have to connect to my backend system, what I generally do is I generally go and I will quickly change the size here. So what I generally do is I go and create a PIM file. And provide the content for the private key file here. So what we generally do is we go and open the file here from the PIM key, edit it with Notepad, and we provide the PIM key content into that. So which means we are storing the private key file in the jump server, which is not the best way of connecting to the system. See, once after we store it, we generally take the SSH using that PIM file to the backend system. So here, I'll just copy the private IP address of the backend system, and then I'll be able to connect it. So there might be some error here saying that there is permission denied. The reason is we don't have permission for the PIM file. We have created the PIM file, but here I'm still a non-root user, and I also need permission to read and execute this particular file. So in order to do that in Linux, we generally use the chmod command, and I'm providing the read and the execute permission for the user, and for the group I'm not giving any permission, and for others I'm not giving any permission. So I'll just update the permissions, and now I'll try to connect it using the same method. See, I'm able to connect it to the backend system, which is 10.0.129.146 from this machine. So I'm logged into this machine here. So here the problem is we are storing the private key file in a kind of plain text format on the Bastion server, which is not the preferred method. So I'll show you the other method. So before that, I'll exit and delete the file. Okay, I've deleted, and we are going to exit from that server. Now, what we have to generally do is when we connect to the Bastion server, what we can do here is instead of storing the file on the jump server or the Bastion server, the cloud operations team can download a tool called Pagent from the PuTTY site. So you have this Pagent file. It is a small exe file. Once after you download, you can go and add it to your system. It is a kind of portable exe or the portable file. So you can see that the Pagent has started running here. So it is the authentication agent where I'll go and add the key in an encrypted way. Okay, I'm not going to store it in a straightforward without encryption. I'm going to store it in an encrypted format. If I just go and see the keys, I can see that it is stored in an encrypted format. Now, once after I have added that key on the Pagent file, now I can just go and connect to the same system. While I'm connecting to the system, under the authentication method, what I have to do is I have to allow the agent to forward the credential while we are connecting to the backend system. So this will help us to look for the private key file on the local authentication agent, and it will authenticate, and we will be able to connect to the backend system. I'll show you how it works. So here I'll just connect the credential for connecting to the Bastion server. So now if you look at here, it will ask for the key passphrase. So this is only known to the cloud operations team, and I've just entered the key here. And now instead of storing the PEM file there, while I connect through the authentication agent, while the authentication agent is running, you can see that there is a backend encrypted key that has been added to the SSH RSA. You can also confirm whether we are looking at the right key by using -n. You can see that it is listing down the specific imported open SSH key. I can also go and confirm whether we are looking at the right key here. So we are looking at the right key. It says SSH 256 JG plus and ending with JS. Yeah, this is the one, JG plus and ending with JS. Yeah, so we are good there. And now what I can do is I can just directly say SSH -A agent forwarding, and I'm not entering any PIM file, or I'm not selecting any PIM key here. I'm just using the agent forwarding. I've got the agent only on my local machine, and only the private key is stored in an encrypted way on my machine. Even if someone gets the key, they should know the passphrase to use it. So it is secure. Now I can enter the IP address of the backend machine here on the backend server. This is in a complete different subnet from the source machine. The source machine is in 10.0.6 range, and this one is on 129 range. So here I should be able to directly connect to the backend system. So this is how, instead of storing the PIM key on the Bastion server, you can use the Pagent or similar tools to store the credential, including an encrypted way, plus we can have a passphrase to avoid compromising the particular key. And also we can connect to the backend system by just logging into the Bastion server. So only Bastion server will have access to the backend systems. This has been restricted using the security group. So this is what I want to share in this lecture. We'll catch up in the next session. Thank you.